Most people spend hours planning for failure and 0 minutes for success. And if you ask them, they actually want to be successful. So, what do you want to do with that success that you're planning to have? Crickets. Nothing. They don't know what to say because they have no plan for it. And that's why today we're flipping that script. What would you do tomorrow you woke up with $1 million in your account? Pause. Take it in. Think critically about it. I'm thinking about mine, and guess what? I know what to do with $50 billion in my account. Yep. And that's why I'm asking you this question today. Now, you may have heard, according to data, that most people who win the lottery go back to being broke after a few short years. Should I blow your mind? That's a lie. Oh well, it's not entirely true. And you see, ridiculous statistics and stories like this are the reasons why people don't plan for success, whatever that means to them. It's because most people think, oh, the rich also cry, or money doesn't buy you happiness, or Christians, or people who identify as Christians, we come out and say, well, money is the root of all evil. I'm sorry to start with, the love of money is the root of all evil, not money. See the difference. At least if you want to quote the Bible, quote it well. Whatever story you choose to tell yourself or use to console yourself, thinking like this will keep you very, very small. And honestly, I'm sick of hearing it. Enough. Over here, we talk rich. And over here, we know what to do with money. And in case you do not know what to do with money, don't worry, you will by the end of this video because I'm about to give you an idea. Thank me later. Now I get it. Having a backup plan is important, is pragmatic, is the adult thing to do. After all, anyone who has been an adult for even 1 year will tell you that life is always lifing. So it has become our default setting to plan for if things don't go well. If you don't get a job, if you get fired from your job, if the girl does not accept you, if the guy dumps you, if this happens, if that happens, I get it. It's practical. But the problem is, a failure backup plan is the only thing most people have. And that is why I'm about to introduce you to the concept of a success plan. What would you do if everything went right? Have you ever stopped to consider what will happen if all those your fears never happen? Or those things that you're hoping and praying to God for? What will happen if God actually answers your prayers? That guy or girl that you think is too good to be true, what will happen if they say yes? You see, because you've not thought of this, this is the reason why when you eventually get into that relationship, you're going to sabotage it. If you get that dream job with those exciting perks, how would you spend your money? Have you created a budget for it yet? What will happen if you get a shit ton of money? And feel free to replace a shit ton of money with whatever your dream network is. Do you see where I'm taking you? I hope you are coming with me on this ride because there's somewhere I want to take you. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to narrow down success to just money because, to be honest, a lot of our problems can be solved with money. There's no point. I'm not about that fake, modest life. We'll talk money over here. I will desensitize you to money so that money will be like water for you mentally so that before you touch it, you'll be ready. That's how to do it. Now, of course, in making plans about your dream money and your dream life, we need to differentiate something because it's possible to have shallow plans and it's possible to have long term plans. And shallow plans, for instance, look like, oh, when I get this money, or if I win the lottery, or if everything goes well, I'm going to pack myself in a yacht and be shaking my ass on a yacht for at least 1 year. Shallow plan. When you think of yourself in your dream life, and all you can think of is yacht life, supercars, blings, designers, oppressing people, stunting on your enemies, both real and phantom, then that's a shallow plan. And that's not where we're headed. How do you know you have long term plans? Well, for starters, you probably have milestones. Now, because it's so easy to get lost in the $1 million will really solve my problems, or $10 billion will really solve my problems. But that's not how it works. Because I'm a Christian and I view everything from the lens of Christianity. And there is a Bible verse that says that, paraphrased by me, of course, that if you're not faithful in a little, how do you want God to give you the big thing? So basically, you have to have milestone plans. What would you do if you stumble on $10,000, for instance, $100,000, $500,000? And by stumbling on, I mean, if it comes to your hand, it's not as if practically you'll be walking on the road and find money on the floor. No. But having these milestone goals and plans helps you to better prepare for the big plans. You know, earlier I said I have a plan for if I have $50 billion. I'm not joking. And that's because I have milestone plans. I have plans for at social amount is what I want to do. And because I have those milestone plans, my vision is getting more expanded and I'm seeing some things that I can do with $10,000, but I'll feel extremely limited with that amount. So all of a sudden I'm planning for bigger, $100,000. And then when I get to $100,000, I have planned for it. But all of a sudden, I'm realizing that if I really want to pursue this thing, if I really want to pursue this cause, if I really want to do this thing and do it well, I'll be needing $1 million. Do you see how it climbs? Because my vision is getting more expanded. And it also, another benefit of having this kind of milestone plans is that money doesn't move you anymore. Like I've met interesting people who are not moved by money. They are simply not moved by. You cannot use your wealth to bamboozle them. It's just impossible because in their head they are prepared for it. They know what to do with that money in your hand. So they are just patiently waiting for their time, waiting for everything to click. They are ready to go. Those are my kind of people, and those are the kind of people that I hope to make out of you watching this video. Now, probably hearing all this money talk might be making you feel dizzy, especially if you come from a place where they are very modest or conservative about money and they don't really talk about it. But guess what? Psychology actually supports this conversation we are having. When you plan for failure, you unconsciously look for reasons why things will not work out. The same is true for the reverse. If you plan for success, you'll begin to spot opportunities that would never ever be visible to the average person or to anyone who is also not planning for success like you. Your brain just start noticing gaps and areas that you could fill with your skill, with your wisdom. You begin to connect the dots, you begin to make connections, you begin to plot strategies, and paths will just be opening up that were previously invisible to you before. Now, what happened? It's not that you magically became a brand new person overnight. No, it's that because you have turned your attention to something else, your brain is now moving in that new direction. It's not magic, it's attention. And attention will determine your action. Let me give this example. By now, you should know that I'm on a gap year. But if you don't, well, I'm telling you now, you can go check out my gap year diary over here. And I just started sharing my experiences on a gap year. If I did not have a success plan, if I was this kind of person who has not demystified money, you think that I, in Nigeria, will just wake up one day in this blessed economy and decide on a gap year? You think I would have done that? I'm not saying, what I'm saying is not theory. I'm living it, I'm practicalizing it. I'm not saying I'm wealthy yet, but that's yet. But by having this kind of mindset, there are opportunities I see and I'm seeing every day that are not visible to the average person. This thing I'm saying works. Enough talking. This is your time for an assignment. And I don't know if you noticed in all my videos, there's kind of an assignment thingy going on. Yes, that's how it's going to be. So that on this channel, you're not just going to be a hearer of the word, you're going to be a doer of the word. So here is your take-home assignment. Bring out your pen and paper and jot things down. How much do you think will be enough for you to live a decent life? Now, to do this, you have to define what decent means, or comfortable life, or rich life, whatever the English that is okay with you. That life where you don't have to worry about money, you can do some of the things that you probably can't do now. Just sit down and think of it. How much would it be? If your dream life consists of vacations multiple times a year, having as many cars as you want, as many houses as you want, no matter what, if that's what constitutes a decent life for you. Now make a random calculation and figure out how much would you need in terms of net worth. But if you want to do a year, that's fine. Now that you have figured out the amount that you'll be needing, I want you to do something. Add two zeros to it. I know this part will probably spook you out, especially like I said earlier, if you're not used to talking about money. Do you see how easily I am talking about these things? Because I've done these exercises a long time ago. I am not moved by money anymore. It doesn't freak me. You can't buy me off with money because in my head I'm already a wealthy person. And and I must say this, and serious talk here, I truly wish everybody had that kind of mentality. Because when I see people doing things for money, getting bamboozled by promises of money, I've seen people, especially as a Nigerian, I've seen people make compromises and make certain statements. And I'm just like, Kai, I wish we were not so money obsessed. We now run a society where everyone feels like everyone has a price. The goal of this video is to make you unbuyable. It's to make you not have a price. You know why? Because up here, you've successfully demystified money. And then when you've done that, you begin to spot opportunities, you begin to take radical steps, you begin to do things that are ethical and morally right to make money. So, like I said, add two zeros. Don't be scared. Add two zeros there. Do it. After adding those zeros, you now have a full amount, right? Beautiful. The next thing you want to write is what's the first thing you do? Yes, that includes splurging. See, I'm a believer that there are certain amounts that will come into your account. It is okay for you to splurge first. There's this thing I say every month when my salary hits my account, a delivery man must come to my house. This is my logic. What does that mean? That I must order, even if it's a very nice meal, a new clothes, a new this, a new that, anything, but a delivery man must come knocking at my house. Why? I believe in taking care of yourself. This is also what I want you to do. What's the first thing you do that will make you happiest or will have the most significant impact of joy in your life? Write that down. Write as many ideas that come to your head, write it down. The third thing you must do is to outline your priorities. What are the things that are most important to you? Family, friends, faith, community, philanthropy, investment, saving. Put all those things down. There's something we're going to do. Now, this is optional. I want you to take this step 3 and compare it to the notes that you have in step 2. And what I want you to look for is patterns or disconnects. If the first thing, for instance, that you will do, part of the things you will do is maybe you will buy one big bottle of, what are the popular bottles? Is it Heineken? No, not Heineken. Ace. You know these big bottles that club people use? Those big expensive bottles that they carry like this. If that's one of your first priority, how you will shut down the club, then you go back. Then you write this number 3 and you find that one of the things that is most important to you there is health. Then that means there's a disconnect because how is downing several bottles of alcohol in a club contributing to your health? Do you see the disconnect? Or maybe the first thing that you write there is, let's say, still on club matters. And on step 3, you're writing that family is the most important thing to you. How come the first thing you spend on is not maybe sending money home to your parents? How come it's going to the club to stunt on strangers? Do you see there's a disconnect? So these are the pictures I want you to create. These are the connections I want you to look for. If there is a disconnect, then you clearly need to reassess your priorities. That's how we go. Now, this leads me to the final part, acting accordingly. Now, once you've gotten this money and a bunch of things that are important to you, you found the areas that there's probably a disconnect, or you've discovered in the process of jotting things down the things that you would actually love to do, maybe some courses that you're passionate about that you love to, donate to, or there are some things you even want to volunteer to, but you do not have the time because you're currently busy chasing money, which is completely understandable. Now that you have seen this, it's time to start acting accordingly. Acting accordingly could look like taking lessons on financial education. And right here on YouTube, there are many creators who share content on financial education that you can watch. You could also go back to school. If currently you've been postponing on going back to school because you don't think it's necessary, well, maybe that's because you've never really thought of what the extra degree could do for you. Let's say you're working somewhere and you know that the reason why you are stagnated is because maybe you do not have an advanced degree. Writing down this list would definitely inspire you to want to get that extra degree because it's going to increase your earning potential. And for this, I'm talking about Nigerians especially. Sometimes for you, it might be upskilling. Maybe you've been planning on pivoting into a new career and or you've been dilly-dallying, you've not been taking it seriously. That's because you've not had a success plan all this while. Now that you've actually outlined all the things that you can do with money, all the ways that money can improve your life, that amount that you can see there's now a vision very clear on the things that you can do with money or the ways that you can impact your own world with money, it will inspire you some more to work hard. All of a sudden, you find yourself picking up a high income skill and learning it. I am currently on this group that is for freelancers in Nigeria. And sometimes they share stories on how their lives have been changed via learning a high income skill. And you read all sorts of stories. You see teachers who used to earn less than $20 a month, and they will tell you that they never thought in their lifetime that they will buy a house or they will have a house, that they were probably staying in a one room apartment. But courtesy of freelancing, for instance, they will share pictures of their houses that they are building that is in progress. Those are the kind of things that more money opens up your eyes to. So all of a sudden you become inspired to learn a high income skill so that you can earn more to not just make yourself comfortable and even impact in your village. For instance, where I'm from in Nigeria, the southeast, there are many philanthropists there. A lot of them, when they go home to the village during December, during Christmas, you see them buying stuff for widows, for orphans, sponsoring people through school. These are the things that make people happy. If they did not have a success plan, they will not be doing that. They'll probably be wasting their money every Sunday or every Monday or wherever it is people go to club, or they'll be too busy trying to stunt on their enemies on Instagram. And they will lose sight of important activities like that can actually transform their world. As for me, I'm going to take it a step further. I am going to prepare a bucket list of things that you can do with money. And it's going to be a digital product. I'm going to upload it on Seller and Gumroad. And yes, it's going to be paid. This one it will be geared towards people who have some money to spare but do not know what to do with it. Trust me, this is a real problem. I've spoken with enough people to know that many people just have money. Maybe they stumbled on money or they are just very ambitious. So by stroke of luck or by the law of compounding, that thing they are doing has yielded results. Maybe they are just so persistent, they are just so hardworking. And finally, the laws of the universe just bend to their favor and things align. So I hope I delivered on my promise. I hope that you finally, to an extent, demystified money in your mind. I hope that finally you can stop looking at rich people as if they have 10 heads and having this come and help me, come and rescue me from my life mentality. Now you are actively looking for ways that you can create value so that you can earn some money and do those things that you've always wanted to do. This is me wishing you the best of luck, and I am giving you a final charge to go forth and implement. Subscribe.